Peace to the family. What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Live Inside the Booth. You know how we doing it. We got Marcus Sloan that's going to be coming on here tonight. And various other panelists if you choose to be a part of the panel tonight. I'm going to make it available to everybody inside the chat. I'm going to put put a link in there for if you want to come in and join. Agree with Coach Sloan, Marcus Sloan, on some of the things he says. If you choose to disagree and have some rebuttals to it, you're welcome to come inside the booth and share. You know, one thing I will say is we're not going to have any profanity popping off and no cursing if anybody chooses to disagree, but we're going to allow everybody to have their opportunity to express themselves, whether it's in the chat or if you want to come inside the booth personally. As I've said before, as you all know, last couple of days, Coach Marcus Sloan has been on a little Twitter rant talking about various things in summer basketball, whether it's the coaches, players, directors, and even parents. And he's put a lot of views out there that a lot of people agree with. Some people might disagree with. As a matter of fact, he put a tweet out the other day that I kind of was like, look, I see what you're saying on this. And at the same time, if a parent would have came back and said something, I could agree with what they said as well. So, but this is just a platform for us to be able to get a lot of people in here and just continue to grow. By the way, if you're checking this out right now, make sure you give us a thumbs up and don't forget to share this video on your page, whether it's Twitter, Instagram, or Twitter or Facebook or wherever, to bring some more participants in because they might need to get inside the booth so they can be able to share some of their experiences as well. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Inside Booth. I'm your host, Marlon Lowe, at Inside Booth. That's what you want to follow. And we're going to kind of go from there. You know, I'm going to bring Marcus Sloan in and we just going to get it popping. I know we got some other guys like maybe Chad and Jeff and Dre, a lot of different people from around the city, the state, the country. If you have anything to say, again, at some point in time, once we talk to Sloan, I'm gonna drop something into the chat, and we'll be able to bring you inside. But even before then, if you got some questions before that or something to say, I'll read it off. No problem with it. Give you full disclosure, give you credit on what's going on. But without further ado, let's bring Sloan up inside the booth. Let's see what he got to say. Where we at? Sloan.
Hello, what's going on?
What's good with you?
Let me make sure I get this shirt in this shot first before we even start. Let's say, run your race. Run your race. I tweet that.
Man, hold on a second. Show it one more time.
Hashtag run your race. It's so important.
Tell us the significance of that, first of all. Matter of fact, hold on a second. Before we even get into what the significance is about, tell us a little bit about you and as you drink by the fireplace and things of that nature. Share us who you are, what you're about, and what we're going to be discussing a little bit, what you'd like to discuss a little bit today so that they'll understand the hashtag, what it's all about.
First of all, I appreciate you having me on inside the booth. I'm Marcus Sloan. I have a scouting service, OTR Exposure. I also do events with my other company, Ball Out Events. And I have a summer camp business also, Shoot to Score Hoops. We do summer camps for the kids all summer long. Anytime the kids out of school, spring break, Christmas break, we have basketball camps. And so this slogan, run your race, is on my shirt. It just, actually one day I was thinking about, kind of making my transition from coaching in the summer to what I would do. And, it's guys like yourself and Jim Hicks and other people in the business. And, you're trying to kind of pick and choose like what lane you want to get in. And I just didn't ever want to not have my own lane and run my own race. And so every morning I've been tweeting that now for at least probably about 6 months straight. When I get up or just, whenever I'm dropping the kids off or heading to the office, I tweet run your race. And the significance in that is just, like I said, just doing what you do, not trying to emulate anyone else, not looking at anyone else's journey, not looking at anyone else's circumstance, just focusing on you and what you do, what your child is doing, and running that race.
Okay. So there it is. So that's where the hashtag comes from. run your race.
Run
Stay in
your
your
race.
basically. You tell them to stay. Is it could also be like just stay in your lane and just kind of go from there?
It could be. I mean, and sometimes in life you do have different lanes. Like maybe one lane is ending and you got to merge to the next lane. But sometimes people like try to straddle those lanes, low. And just like driving on the freeway, that could get dangerous when you straddle the lane because, you're not in your own lane. It's safety for not only for yourself and for others. So that's a life metaphor too, man. Kind of running your race, staying in your lane instead of trying to drive in the next man's lanes or run the next man's race.
Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Now I don't know if everybody else will be good with that, but that's just kind of that's just the nature of it, right? That's the nature of it. What you got to deal with when you're going through these type of situations. But where were you at this past weekend? Tell us that this last couple of days with the live period. Tell us where you were at and your thoughts on whatever you were hearing while you were out there, because obviously you couldn't be at all these places at the same time, but yet still you were communicating, tweeting, talking about different things, probably helping push people's events out there and people's results, what was going on while you were gone. But tell us a little bit about that.
I was in North Augusta, South Carolina for the Nike Peach Jam. It was my first time attending the Peach Jam, so it's something I definitely wanted to do. I actually have been covering the Houston teams for the most part, all the Peach Jams. Started back in April, and the very first in Atlanta, Dallas. The only one I did not go to was Indy, which was the third session. I did not, but I went to all of the Peach Jam events this year. So I was in Augusta, Georgia for the Nike EYBL finale at the Peach Jam.
Okay. Now, how is it that you're able to, you're promoting a lot of different people from various events? Tell it, like, did you have somebody watching events from other places? Because a lot of people sit back and say, how people put things. And Sloan saying this, Sloan saying that. Tell us your purpose behind it. What were you doing?
See, I got this nice beverage, man. So this inside the booth is about to be really real. I mean, yes, I was at Peach Jam, and yes, I had people at the Under Armour event. I did not have anybody at the Adidas event in Alabama. I did not. I had some guys at Jim Hicks event at the GMI. So I was kind of, I was kept abreast of what was going on with several different teams and several different kids. And let me start by saying I do have a NCAA certified scouting service, OTR exposure, which means college coaches have subscribed to my service, which means they pay me for my information, they pay me for my evaluation, and they pay me for my intel. And when you get paid for something, that means it's your job. So it's not like a hobby or I don't even really have a dog in any of these kids' fight, except for the simple fact that the kids that I watch are from Houston. My scouting service primarily is greater Houston area kids, sprinkle a little bit Dallas, San Antonio, but primarily of Houston kids. So that's my job. And these college coaches pay me to evaluate and give my feedback and my opinion on kids and their level and what I think they project to the next level.
Okay. So with that, I'm gonna put this up on the screen for everybody to see because you tweeted out something that kind of like I don't know what it was, but some people got into a frenzy about it. And I don't know what it was behind, but I kind of I replied to it. But here's what it says. You can see it for yourself right there. It says, some parents have more excuses than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's the coach, the director, media, it's everybody else's fault. Sometimes the kids aren't as good as you think, or they're not good enough, and sometimes they just have to get better, which is okay. What was the purpose behind that tweet? What brought that about?
Well, so I was on a flight, man, back from Atlanta to Houston. And I saw a couple of tweets from a couple of different parents about if you have a scouting service, or you should call it a groupie service. And I'll keep that parent and that, he'll remain anonymous. But it was brought to my attention via one of the greatest trolls in Greater Houston area, coach, my guy, Coach Fobb, who, you know, we go back and forth. It's all love. It's my guy. And so he brought it to my attention. So I was in the mood, actually. The flight was a little turbulent. Maybe I had a little PTSD from the flight low, but I was ready for the smoke. And any tweet that was directed towards me, at me, like a drive-by. Sometimes, you know, in a drive-by low, sometimes those bullets hit people that they didn't mean to hit. Well, that certain tweet, it hit me. Now, it may not be for me, but it hit me. So sometimes, you know, how the hood low, you're from the Chi, you've been in Houston a while, from the Leap, like.
Right.
When a drive-by happens, you got to retaliate. So that was my retaliation tweet. You know, like sometimes though, like people, it's a hard pill for them to look in the mirror, and like it's a hard pill for them to swallow that their kid isn't getting it done. And the first thing they want to do, instead of looking at self first and taking accountability, they want to say, "Oh, the coach don't like my kid," or the director got other agendas, or the director's not being honest, or, oh, it's bad media, or y'all pumping bad kids, or social media. Everybody's down that list. I'm 5-6 deep without saying, you know what, maybe my child isn't where he should be on the court. He has some deficiencies. Maybe he should work on that. Maybe he's not as good as I think he is. Or, like I said in the tweet, maybe he's on his way. He just needs to get better. But in the meantime, in between time, don't blame a summer program director or a summer program coach for your son's deficiencies or his holes in his game or the reason he's not successful. Because prime example, man, like it's very rare that you hear kids who are successful at this game that their parents say, "Oh man, it's the coach's fault he's successful." No, man, the kid is successful because he put in the work, and when his number was called, he did what he had to do, or she did what she was supposed to do. And we're not blaming anybody else, or we're not giving anybody else that credit except the kid. Like the kid earned that.
Right.
I've never heard anybody say anything about Cade Cunningham, who I think is the best player in the country. Man, it's the reason Cade Cunningham killing is because he getting coached really well, or because the media pumping him. Oh man, Cade Cunningham is killing because when he's on that court, he produces. Period. There's no excuses. So that's why I tweeted that, man. Like it seems like it's everybody else's fault except the people who are or who should be held accountable, which is the parent and or the kid.
That's it. That's interesting that you say that, because I kind of a lot of times, well, for people that know
Hold on, Lo. Let me jump back.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Here's my problem with that. 99% of the people that are doing all this tweeting and this complaining and this hating on my kid, their kids just aren't getting it done. Like that's. I'm okay. Prime example: Langston Love, who had a hell of a EYBL, a hell of a Peace Jam, a low maintenance kid, low maintenance parents, right? During the Peace Jam, I kind of asked Langston, like, you know, like about his recruitment, like what he thought he needed to get better at. And the kid was like, you know, coach, like I have something I need to work on, but like I know that I know that, and I know my game isn't perfect. Like I'm gonna keep getting better. And Lo, the way he played this EYBL, this PGM, like his parents could, you know, they could ask the hoops for a helicopter, or they could have said anything like, yo, we demand this, we demand that. They were low maintenance, they're humble. They were just happy that their kid got an opportunity to play on that stage. And so when you see parents and kids like that, it kind of makes you wonder, like, on that other side, like, there's just about the accountability, you know, like, at the end of the day, it's about accountability, period.
Okay. Now I get that. I'll ask, as I, you know, put like this. There's a lot of people that keep score. A lot of people keep score on what's going on from various perspectives. I got a friend of mine that you know as well. that like one time he hit me and said, look, he put a picture up on a bunch of kids, like I'll keep it a buck, right? He put a picture up of a bunch of kids that played with us. It was like about 9 of them, right? A couple years ago. And all of them got Division I scholarships, right? And so one thing that was out there, he kind of questioned, he said, well, Lo, how many of these parents do you still have a good relationship with? Okay. And first of all, before he asked it, I put on the picture, I put all free, meaning like all of them went to school for free. Okay. Even if they transferred. Okay. All of them went for free. So he said, how many of these parents you got a good relationship with? Well, I responded, and I kind of got quiet, but I said, listen, think about it as this. How many of them parents did I have a relationship with before they joined the program? None, maybe one. You know what I'm saying? But now on that, my responsibility, just like as you'll say with your job, whatever, my responsibility is to help their child.
Correct.
Have an opportunity to get the free education to further their basketball career.
Correct.
My responsibility is not to be their friend, but I mean, we met. I've got a lot of friends, and we're cordial, and we build relationships. You build relationships, and with this, but that was my point to the friend who said that's like, look, don't worry. If they wasn't my friend before this, look, they used me and my platform, what I have, to help them to further where they get. Mission accomplished. That's what I said. Mission accomplished. Give me credit for that. And if a parent is upset with Lo for saying he ain't this, he ain't doing that, you shouldn't even be saying that. You should be telling them, hey, this man saved you hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? And at the same time, you didn't pay him anything. He didn't ask for you to pay him anything. So guess what? Who won out of this?
Right.
You won. You know what I'm saying? Your child won. So again, my mission is accomplished because that's what I tell them all the time. I'm in this to be able to help the kids to get further where they're supposed to go. That's all I care about. Having a relationship with parents is very important. I love that. But now, at the same time, sometimes when this goes a certain way, as you said, some people's expectations is up here, and if they don't get there, they tend to blame you.
Yeah, you gotta be realistic though, Lo, man. Like my thing is like, let's just be realistic. Like your kid is on the court, he's given a chance, and in some situations, man, like, and I'm trying to keep the kids out of it because it's not their fault. But and let me say this too. Stephen Wu is a coach at Hightower. He has a quote. He said, "It may not be their fault, but it is their problem."
Yeah.
So a lot of times,
where you get that from? Yeah.
Especially when it comes to parents and these kids and recruiting and summer basketball stuff. Like sometimes the kids are innocent and it's not their fault, but it becomes their problem because of the parents and the situation. But I just think sometimes people are super unrealistic. And again, man, like I have 3 kids. My kids are young. I'm sure in my mind, my kids are the greatest thing since sliced bread, but they have deficiencies. They're bad. They don't always do things correctly. I just think, man, sometimes people are unrealistic of their expectations. And then it's certain situations where a kid can have plenty of opportunity to prove himself. Lo, man, like I don't just evaluate these kids like once a week, like once every 3 months. Dog, like I'm always in the gym. I've seen these kids in high school. I've seen these kids at camps. I've seen these kids at workouts at the Fondy, at various gyms. I've seen them in the spring. I've seen them in the summer versus equal competition, lesser competition greater than. So like when I evaluate or like when I'm watching these kids, like I've seen enough of these kids to know like, okay, this kid got to work on this, or this kid is not as good as this or where his parents think he is, as far as a ranking goes, as far as an evaluation goes. And again, these underclassmen, you have time to get better. You have time to prove me wrong. You have time to improve on your game. But don't blame me or want me to take your kid out of a ranking because he's not as high as you think he should be. That's your kid. You're supposed to think he's high. Fine. Just be realistic.
Right. No, I get that. And Stacey Houston has a great comment inside the chat. He said, if everybody, he said, I'm sorry?
I said, is there where I can see the chat?
You might have to get another click on your YouTube part of the computer, but he says, okay. I'll read it for you though. But he says, if everyone handles summer basketball as a business, your feelings will not get involved. understand that there are many different lanes in the summer basketball business. And that is true in so many aspects. If you handle it as a business, that means like you're in this for a certain reason. Okay.
Correct.
You're in this to get something out of this. Primarily, first of all, you're only in it as a parent, you're in it primarily for your child. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
For parents that come in. So you need to understand you're scoping this out as a business, say, what's the best opportunity for my child? How can my child get what we need out of this? And you look at it from that. And you got to kind of take friendships out the way and you move from, you find out who's the best. What you got all these banks down there. Which bank am I going to go to? Which one's going to give me the best plan for growth to maximize wealth and earning potential down the road?
Right.
And you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? You figure
it out. That's what I always tell, like, listen, it's not personal, it's business.
Right.
Like, there's no reason for me to hate on a kid, like on a 16, like, what reason do I have to tell a coach for no reason, just because I'm a hater, oh, he's not good enough? What does that benefit me? Mm-hmm. The school isn't paying me to be like, hey, Sloan, we're gonna pay for your service so you can tell us, or you can hate on a kid for no reason. If a kid is handling his business, despite however his parents may be or his handler may be, I'm gonna say that kid is good enough.
Right.
The parents can be assholes or they can be jerks. If the kid is good enough, I'm gonna be like, hey man, like that kid can play, he's this level. I'm not gonna be like, I don't like the kid dad, or the kid is, for what? They're not paying me. They're paying me to get his evaluation. Right. I may not like the kid dad, but the kid can play. He can do X, Y, Z.
Right. Okay. So listen, we got a comment from Dawn. Okay. From Dawn has a comment, and I'll let you expand on this and see where you want to take it. All right. So Dawn says, so evaluators, trainers, and coaches can make generalizations about parents, but don't want the same in return. Most cases are situational. You got anything you can think about? Any comments on that?
Wait. Repeat that, Lo. He said most.
She says, Dawn says, so evaluators, trainers, and coaches can make generalizations about parents, but don't want the same in return.
When she says generalizations, we're not making these generalizations to like coaches. Like, yeah, again, you can say whatever you want about me or make a generalization about me. Like the simple fact is they pay me for my generalization about your kid or like my evaluation of your kid, regardless. If someone is paying you for your generalization or your evaluation of media or of trainers or of scouting services, cool. Like, listen, Lo, you can have your opinion about anything you want. It's a free country. Like, you want to generalize media or trainers or coaches, cool, no problem. Like, I have, even with that tweet, the groupie tweet, like, oh, you following the team around your groupie. No, dog, like, people are paying me to write about these kids on this team. So
I didn't, and that's funny because I didn't see that tweet, but I mean, I'm obviously if that's what sparked you said. And now you're saying this, you're saying you might follow a team because the team is taking care of you to evaluate that team the whole time?
No. College coaches. So like it may be 4 or 5 programs who are recruiting kids that's off the Houston Hoops. Right? And so they subscribe to my service. So if 4 or 5 people are paying me to do a job to cover a team, I'm gonna cover that team. Just like JL 316s. A group you were coaching, it was people paying me to evaluate those kids on that team. So guess what? I watched y'all in Dallas. That's a part of my job, period. Like if someone, let's say the GMI, let's say if it was 20 schools that wanted me to cover the GMI, I probably wouldn't go to the Peace Jam. I'm gonna cover the GMI.
So you had a chance right there to basically pick and choose of the number of your clients who's asking you to do something for them.
Correct.
You make your decision based upon that. So that's your business part of it. That's your business part of it.
My own events, Jim Hicks's events, whoever else does events. Like it's not just the Peace Jam or the Under Armour events. Like I'm always in the gym, man. It's people who take pictures of me on purpose for my brand. As a part of my brand to show people like, yo, like I'm in this gym watching these kids. This is why I'm getting paid for this.
Right.
Yes, I am all in the videos. I am all on the pictures. Yes, you're right. Because I'm in the gym.
In the gym. Now I get that. That's funny. That's a good one. That's a good one. Now, ball so hard. Got no G. He says, he's got to make a comment also. He says, parents also need to be realistic about their child's level of play. He says, my son is a D3 NAIA type prospects, and I tell him that, and he doesn't allow that to define his game or his work ethic. So are parents realistic about their child's level of play when it comes down to watching what you do, how you move, or any other evaluators? It's not always just about you that we're talking about, but we're talking about just evaluators and scouts in general. Would you say that parents are realistic about their child's level of play?
I would say 25% of parents are realistic. But again, it's hard. Like, you've spent thousands of dollars, you spent countless amount of hours, you invested so much time, energy, money into this thing, and you think in your mind, my son's at a certain level. No matter what happens, no matter how the kid can play or how he may play, you feel like he's at a certain level, and that's just not the case as compared to other kids who's on that level. And that's the thing about, myself. Like, that's the reason why I wanted to see the EYBL this year. I've been on the Under Armour for the last 3 years. I know the level of those kids. So now I see the Peach Jam. So now when I come back and I go to a Madison Sharpstown game and I'm evaluating kids, those teams, I can say to myself, this kid is at that level, because those other kids I saw across the country who are high majors, maybe there aren't any high majors on these two teams. Because now, I have like something to go off of. I have a reference. You know what I mean? So like now I can see, oh, okay, cool. Like, they're not that level. And let me backtrack a little bit though. Let's do a little background, right? I'm a part of this same culture. I played for John Urie, Houston Superstars. We had a high level team, right? We had some high major players on my team. We played against high major competition, right? I had some mid-major level, and we played against low major competition, right? So I've seen, as from a 15, 16, 17-year-old kid, like, what a high major dude looks like, what a mid-major kid looks like, right? So then I go to college, I go to TCU. That's a high major college, right, Lo? You played against high major teams, played against low major team, mid-major team, same. I was professional. So it's like, I've always been like comparing and evaluating talent level. Now they just pay me for it.
Right. So in other words, by you taking the opportunity to say that you went out to Peach Jam to see some of the top talent in the country, quote unquote, probably some of the best talent in the country, as people say, you can say that you continue to enhance and build on your individual craft. So as you said, you come back and you see what that looks like, that they say is going to be a high major, a mid major, or other pros that have come through there that played at that level. So you get a chance to have a gauge now. So when you come back to whether it's Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Austin, or anywhere else in the country, you have a better gauge by your own self time that you took out to go evaluate the highest level to make an assessment on levels that other kids are at. Would you say that's part of your
Absolutely
for yourself?
That was the biggest reason why I chose to cover the Peach Jam this year. Just so now, like you said, now my gauge is, okay, I've seen all the levels. I've seen the highest level. I've seen independent groups. I've seen it all. So now I can say, okay, this is what high major dudes look like. This is what one and done. Although I know what they look like, I wanted to see the EYBL so I could, like you said, like, okay, let me add to this craft. Let me really evaluate this. Let me check some of these kids out, some of these teams out.
Okay. So let me tell me this. While you're at Peach Jam or doing whatever, not whatever, forgive me. While you're at Peach Jam evaluating and do what you do you also have other people in other jurisdictions evaluating other teams?
Yes, I do.
And doing that. And then at the same time, would you sit back and say, how are you having them to evaluate? Would you say that they're as credible as you are to make an assessment, or do you just have them send you scores and stat sheets on who won?
No, so like, for instance, I got a guy, Robert Carroll. He's my age. I think Rob's like 35, 36. Like he's kind of been like low key in the gym doing this for a while. Like Rob will go to a Reagan versus Wall Trip game just because he likes to be in the gym, like watching kids play, like evaluating kids, you know? So like he's one of those guys. And so I trust his eyes, and I trust his unique ability to go to games like that. Like, I mean, Rob has reports on guys who are probably NAIA D3 dudes, Sloan, you know? And so I trust him to cover the Under Armour circuit. I trust him to cover the GMI. This is because I know he's put the work in like time and time again. And so he'll send me his evaluations. He'll send me his reports on top of the box scores, because the box scores are just like a tenth of it, you know? And I also think parents, they get super caught up on like, yeah, my son scored 27 against him, and my son scored 30 against this guy, and now you don't score 15. Like that's only a little bit of it.
Okay.
That's a small part of it. Like, what about when your son scored 3? Or what about when your son played against another quote unquote high major guy or a kid on his level a little bit better, and he couldn't bring the ball up court, or he couldn't guard him, or he physically wasn't ready, or like what about that part of the evaluation? It's like the problem is like people want to take the good only. Well, in this thing, Lo, you can't just take the good only. You got to take all of it.
No doubt.
That's the key. Like it's all of it. It's not just when he scores 27. What about when he scored 4?
Okay.
What about when he talking back to his coach and he should have got back on defense? Like, what about that part of it?
Right. No, I get that. I get that. So, before we go further, listen, for everybody watching right now, we appreciate you coming in and supporting. Make sure you hit that thumbs up on the channel right there, man. And if you care to share it with your other Twitter followers on Facebook, let people know what you're watching right now. They might want to get tuned in and get plugged inside the booth right now and want to come in. I'm going to drop the link inside the chat again in a minute. I did it a second ago. I'll drop the link inside the chat. If you're on your computer, you can just tune in and make sure that you can come on inside. Make sure that the video and the volume works on your computer. If you're trying to do it from a phone, it's going to have you download my app to make sure that you're able to come inside. So that's a little different, but you'll be able to do that anywhere you want to in the country at any point in time, in the world, should I say. So I'm going to drop that inside the chat in a second. Come on inside if you have some. But Sloan, let's go ahead. I'm gonna read something else right quick that was inside the chat on the channel. Matter of fact, Stacey Houston made another great comment about this too, and it's to parents. It's to parents, and he says, make sure that you keep a mirror in your pocket so that you can remind yourself that it's your responsibility to control your destiny. Now, what do you get from that statement right there?
Accountability, like. Again, it's like I said earlier, when you look in the mirror, you see that reflection. It's like, like sometimes you make a bad decision, you look in the mirror, you may have a tough night. You wake up, you look in the mirror, like, dang, I probably shouldn't have done that. Like that's the accountability, like reflection time. So what Stacey's saying there is like, keeping that mirror in your pocket. So when things get tricky or things don't go your way, you can always be like, well, I chose this team, or I chose this path, or we chose to go this route. Instead of saying, oh, that's Sloan's fault, or he's hating on my kid, or Lo hating on my son, or Tim Schumacher hating. No, dog. Y'all chose this. Maybe your kid isn't as competitive as a kid in front of him. Maybe he doesn't work as hard as you think he's working. Like, don't blame anybody else. Look in the mirror first and say, did I do all I can to ensure my kid's success? And then you say, did my kid do all he can at all times, not just when he felt like it, but at all times, not just when he felt good, or when his buddies were in the gym, or when people in the gym, when no one was in the gym, when we were at practice, did he always go hard? Did he deserve to get those minutes? Did he deserve to get those shots? Does he deserve to get more playing time than the guy in front of him? Like, that's the holding the mirror up and looking at it. Like, don't just look at the surface. Oh, he not playing my kid. Let's backtrack. It's a reason your kid's not playing, Lo. It's a reason. Because if you are a competitive person and you want to win as a coach, as a director, as anybody, you're going to play the people, or you're going to play the kids who can help you win, period. Like I just got a text, which is very true. Like some parents in Houston think like Houston basketball is where it ends and begins, and that's not true. In this recruiting game, something I learned. I mean, I went through, so I understood it. Like you're not just competing with these 12 kids or these 40 to 100 kids in Houston for a scholarship. This is all over the world, Lo.
Global, absolutely.
This is a global game now. So like the basketball does not just stop this beginning in Houston. It's not the end all be all. And nobody loves the city more than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I go out to Peach Jam, when I go to Under Armour, I see guy, you think like, God dang, he is tough. Like he's competing for the same scholarship that your son is competing, and you kind of compare and think like it's kind of like the old what's that? Was it Sesame Street? Like which one of these things don't belong? Like like when you see a kid like that, it's like yo, one of these things don't belong. At the level that you're talking about.
Right. Now I get it. I get that. So a couple other things. We're back into the chat because I want to make sure we keep everybody involved in here. I like to make sure everybody gets their statements read and any question that they have, we put that out there. So now we're gonna go over here because I'm gonna go back to Stacey, then I'm gonna go back to Dawn because Dawn got another good question that she wants to ask as well. But Stacey says media guys have to make sure that they don't come across as fans and unbiased evaluators. Now,
I got called a fan too, an informed fan.
You got called a fan?
Yeah, and I got called an informed fan. But when you say media guys don't become fans, Lo, I'm going to use them again. Langston Love, prime example. I think Langston Love is one of the top 10 players in that class, 2021 nationally. And here's the reason why.
Repeat that again because you held your head down at the end.
Oh, sorry. I think Langston Love is one of the top 10, arguably 2021 kids in the country. Here's the reason why. I'll backtrack. Before the spring, or last fall, I thought the kid Arthur Kaluma was the #1 sophomore in the state. He had a great fall. Did well at Pango, some other events, right? So then in the spring, Langston Love leads his high school team to the state Final Four, losing to Klein Forest. Then he comes back in the EYBL and averages 25 a game on what most people think is the best youth basketball league in the country. Averages 25, #1 in efficiency in the whole league. 25 a game on the EYBL. You coached on that level many years. You understand what that is.
Right?
That's tough for a sophomore to be, junior to be underclassmen. Then he backdoors at Peach Jam and gets top 5 scoring again and leads his team to the Final Four of Peach Jam. Right? So an informed fan, I'm just tweeting out the facts that Langston Love is killing, and I don't think he's getting the attention that he should from other members of the media. And 9 times out of 10, when I tweet about certain kids or when I go on and on about certain kids, it's so that other people like Eric Bossi and these Evan Daniels guys, like they can see that and understand, like, hey, let me come check this kid out so he can get some more national exposure.
Do you feel like there are some biased evaluators out there? Are there some biased evaluators out there? Because
of course. I tell people, listen, I coached Houston Defenders the last 2 or 3 years. Like, I had to stop coaching them because of the bias. Like I didn't want to be biased and do an evaluation or ranking service, having coached those kids, because it's a hard line to navigate, or like people like it's a hard line to straddle. Like, how can you coach a kid and you got to rank top 5? Well, you coach them, so that's a little bit of a bias. So, but I do I think some people? Yes, I tell people all the time. Yes, I am biased towards Houston kids as opposed to other kids in the country. Yes, that's a fact.
What about Texas kids overall?
Texas kids overall, yes. If it's a Texas kid and a kid from Indiana and they got similar numbers, yes, I'm going to push the Texas kids. You know why? Because I was once that Texas kid, and I would hope someone will push for me from my own state.
Right. No, I get that. That makes a lot of sense. And I'm
real quick, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you good.
I got a lot out of this game, right, Lo? Through summer basketball, through AAU basketball, through Mike Coon's Texas Hoops camps, ABCD camp. Like, I got a lot. Who I am today is because of grassroots basketball. So I want other kids from the city that I grew up in, that I rode on the same freeways and the same schools, get that same opportunity that I got because I know what the game did for me.
Mm-hmm. No,
So
I get it.
that's a part of my job. Like, yo, I'm gonna push these kids as far as they can go, but I'm not gonna push a kid if he's not putting that work in, bro. I just can't. And I'm gonna tell you, if you like ask me like, yo, he not getting it done. Sorry.
No, I got you.
Those are just facts.
Uh-huh. You making some good points.
Because sometimes, no, like they just don't get it done. And like that's okay, dog. Like, yo, sometimes you just don't like you just not as good as you think you are. Yo, I think I'm a handsome guy, Lo. Hey, but to some women, some people, I might not be that handsome, but damn it, to me, I'm handsome. And guess what? Yo, like, all right, some people not handsome. Cool. Like, so hey, I'm not getting it done in looks department. No problem.
Right.
Cool.
Hey,
like,
I'm not gonna touch that one, man. I'm not touching that one. But I get your
saying?
perspective on that. And you got some good points. That's why, like I said, for those that are watching, I dropped the link inside the chat. Again, if you want to come inside the booth and talk to Sloan or make a point
Please
to everyone else, please come on through.
Anybody who got some smoke, some beef, you want to get off your chest, come in the chat. Please. You can be anonymous in the chat. I think, right, Lo? You can be anonymous. I'll answer any question, even if you're anonymous, any statement you want to make, come in the chat.
Well, they can definitely be anonymous in the chat because they can sign up as any under any email they want to do. But if they come inside the booth, they definitely going to have to show their face unless they got a mask on or something like that. But that's cool. Now let's go to it. We're gonna go to Dawn. Dawn made another statement. It's okay, right? Dawn says, "Okay, so is it part of the job to talk trash to parents? Because parents seem to be the easy, I guess, the easy way out or whatever on Twitter these days. Like, is it part of the scout's job to talk trash to parents, or basically maybe do you or anybody else talk trash to parents too? Maybe that's what she's getting at."
Let me say this, Dawn. We're all adults. Like I'm not sure if you earlier. If now it's some stuff, and that's what I tweeted. I got off the plane Sunday, and I said, it's some mentions or some ads I'll address, and it's some I won't. If you shoot at me, I'm trying to be better at this and more professional. It used to be 10 out of 10 times, but now it's probably like 6 out of 10. I'm gonna shoot back. But I don't shoot first, but I will shoot back. Because sometimes parents feel like they can say anything, just like I'm sure parents feel like media guys and evaluators can say anything. But the difference is, if I tweet something about, like, I had a tweet the other day, Lo. I said, if you're a 2020 kid with the new recruiting landscape, now is not the time to play the I want to wait for more offers game, right? If you know where you want to go to school and the school wants you, it's probably your best interest to commit because of the recruiting landscape, because of these grad transfers, because of these JUCO transfers, because of the regular transfers. Because these coaches are preferring to go with older guys. And that wasn't a shot at 2020 kids or parents. That's just from what coaches tell me. So some people may consider that a shot, or I'm taking a shot at parents, or I'm not taking a shot at parents. That was the truth, because I'm getting this information directly from the horse's mouth. They're telling me, Sloan, like, this 2020 class, it's not the time to play. If you know where you want to go, and the school wants you, do it. Because if not, they're not going to wait. It's 600 kids in that transfer portal, Lo. 600.
Over 1,000.
Some schools, so you said 1,000 now?
1,000, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so listen, prime example. With a college, unless you're a top 35 kid in the country, a college coach, he has one job, Lo. I don't care what they tell you, and I have a lot of college coaches' friends. I might get in trouble. They have to win.
Facts.
That's their number one priority. Their number one priority is to win. Helping your kid become a better young man is second. I promise you. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. That's the second thing I want to do. The first thing is, because they can help your kid become a great young man. If they lose, he's going to be gone in 3 or 4 years. Period. The
Well,
first thing
hey,
you got to do is win.
hey, if they lose, he might not be there the whole 4 years.
Exactly. So with them wanting to win, they have options. They can look in that portal and see it's a kid who's a sophomore, who's about to be 21 years old. He's already had 2 years of college experience. He's going to college classes. He's going through college workouts. He's going through college off season, waking up at 5 a.m., lifting and going to class. He's going through the study hall. 2 years of going through college classes, courses, the whole nine. He's 21.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, he's ready to go. Or they take your 17-year-old son, who you still have to wake up in the morning to go to school, who has not been in any college classrooms, who has not been through a college workout program. And if they want to win next year, unless you're a top 30 kid in the country, if it's a waiting game, those coaches might side with those older kids because they've been there before.
Right.
Again, that's not something I made up or something I saw off Google. That's something I'm getting like directly from the horse's mouths.
I'm with that. Hold on just a second.
I'm trying to get it on this YouTube chat. Let's see.
Sloan, if you got another phone, you can go to the YouTube. If you got a screen, if you want to drop your screen and pull up your browser on your computer, you can do it like that as well. You know what I mean? You just kind of go between each one of them as you can. So what I'm gonna do right now, I got a couple more comments, and I want to, I'm throwing things out there at you because I want you to be able to help put some things into perspective. That's why I kind of said I put in there. I dropped that link. Everybody want to come in and talk, but nobody want to say anything now. But the good thing about it is at least they are in the chat. I'm good with that. That's great. Like Ball So Hard TV. Make sure y'all follow him on Twitter as well. He comes in and he asks. He said, matter of fact, he got another one earlier. He says, you have to cover prospects at all levels. Mm-hmm. Not just talking about you. He's talking about in general. He says you have to cover prospects at all levels. It's about building relationships with trust with college coaches. Say college coaches move levels as well. And parents, please go to the collegiate games at all levels to see exactly what it's like. Some people need to be able to go to a Division II. They need to go see what the Sun Belt is, the SWAC is. They need to go to the American so they can see, can my son play at the University of Houston? Can my son play at Texas Southern, at PV? Can my son play at St. Thomas, Dallas Baptist? You know what I mean? Incarnate Word. Can my son play there at UTSA, Texas San Antonio, Rio Grande Valley? Many times, a lot of these parents, they haven't thought about that or they don't go out to the games. What are your thoughts on that, Sloan, as far as what Godfrey Ball So Hard says?
I wrote an article on OTRexposure.com last year about this. And I said it's an article called Levels, right? And what I said in that article was this. I said, parents should, as much as they can during the basketball season, take their kid to a college basketball practice. Ask the coach, or maybe ask your summer coach. You can ask me. You can ask Lowe, Hicks, to ask one of these college coaches, can they sit in on a practice or a couple practices during the college basketball season and watch how hard those kids go and see if your kid can compete at that level. I'm not talking about it just at U of H or Rice or HBU or Sam Houston. Go to St. Thomas. Go to San Jack. Mm-hmm. Go to Houston Tilliston in Austin. Mm-hmm. Like, go sit in on practice. Not an unofficial visit practice, a real practice during the week where the coach cussing the kids out every day, or they screaming at them, yelling at them, where it's a rough day. Go to one of those practices and you be realistic with yourself and think, can my son compete here? Not can he make some open shots, or can he handle the ball? Can he really compete against this dude that plays at U of H? Like, is he good enough to compete against this kid at St. Thomas? Prime example, the twins that were at Sam Houston, they play at St. Thomas. There
Right.
aren't any kids right now that can compete with those kids. They are dogs.
And they went to state.
And they're at St. Thomas. Like, so you think your kid who you think is a mid-major plus a high major minus kid can go and compete against them at St. Thomas? Come on. That's not the case if you're realistic. Now, some can.
Valid points. Valid points. So, got two more. Let's a couple more. Godfrey, last one. He said mentor says that people are like parents are like people who go into American Idol and really think that they can sing, and then to get mad when people tell them that they're horrible.
That's very true, man. That's a great point. It's like karaoke. You know, once they take that real track off and you really singing, you kind of start thinking to yourself, man, I don't sound as good as I thought I did.
That's
like karaoke.
That's a good way to put it.
When I'm in the shower, I'm Montel Jordan. I'm Brian McKnight. When I get on stage, I'm Marcus Sloan as a singer. I'm not as good as I think I am.
Right. Okay. So let's take this out. I'm gonna read a comment by Dawn again. Then Stacey Houston comes back in and makes a comment. I'm gonna read both of them. Then I want you to kind of express and share your thoughts with it, because I thought it was gonna be some other people that wanted to come in here. Maybe it just ain't on topic tonight for what they wanted to get in, but it's all good. So Dawn says, why aren't Grassroots the gatekeepers? Why aren't the gatekeepers of the Grassroots more adamant about calling out bad, crooked coaches, trainers, and bias evaluators? This educates the Grassroots community. I would assume she's asking me a question because I could be considered maybe one of the gatekeepers. But Stacey comes in at the same time, whether he was replying to Dawn or not, but Stacey Houston comes and says, parents cannot blame the media guys for media guys giving their evaluation and opinion about their son. This has nothing to do with Dawn's, obviously. It says a media guy's evaluation opinion will not determine your son's college opportunity. So, okay.
Well, can we ask Dawn, like,
hold on, let's go back. Let's go back to Dawn's first. I'm gonna read Dawn's. It says, why aren't the Grassroots gatekeepers more adamant about calling out bad, crooked coaches, trainers, bias evaluators, etc.? He says this educates the Grassroots community. What would you say about that?
Who are the crooked, like, what determines if somebody is a crooked trainer or a crooked coach? Like, Don, if you can you expound on what's crooked? Because, in my opinion, crooked may mean they don't play your son as much. They quote unquote have favorites. I've seen tweets like some people taking money or something. Like, I'm not sure what crooked may mean, so she might have to expound on that in that I guess sense, as far as the gatekeepers calling out crooked trainers. Like, I'm not sure how you could be a crooked trainer. So I don't know, because if you're training people, you're training people. I'm not sure how you can be crooked if you're taking people's money and not training them. I'm not sure.
Right. I get it. For example, now if I had to take a short answer myself and to answer that question, Dawn. My thing is real quick is like Sloan says also, what is a crooked trainer?
Yeah.
Because somebody, if you keep going over there to the trainer, that means it's something that you like about them, whether they might not be teaching you properly on what you need. Is that
who's calling that, though? So who's that on? Who's that on? If you go to a certain trainer and he's not teaching your kid properly, and y'all go on these AAU games, he's not getting on the court, and you at these practices and he's not getting any better, that's that mirror Stacey's talking about. That's the mirror. Hold a mirror up and say, okay, is it the trainer's fault, or is it the parent's fault for keep bringing the kid back to the trainer? Or is it both?
No.
Or is it both?
It might be both.
If my car keeps breaking down and I take it to a mechanic, but the same problem keeps happening, why would I take my car back to that mechanic? Now that's on me. Okay, you got me once. I paid you for a service. The car broke down. I came back. I paid you again. It still broke down. All right, dog. Now I got to go somewhere else. Because I keep going back to you, and I keep having these problems with my car, or my car not working properly. The mirror. I might have to get another shirt up just with a mirror on it. Maybe that's my next shirt. It's like a handheld mirror, like so you can just look in the mirror.
Make sure you give props to Stacy for that one.
Yeah. Stacy, you get 20% of that sale off some shirts.
Now, again, and it also goes to this, Dawn. So for somebody that's training, this is an opinion of mine. A good trainer will go out and watch your child play and perform, because that way they'll get a chance to know what type of system or how this kid plays it for this coach. So therefore, when I bring you in and train you, I'm able to train you according to the style that you're going to be playing in. I'm not just going to have you dripping 40 and 50 times making ball handling moves. If when you get in the game or when you play for this coach, it's all a motion offense and you passing and cutting and you coming off the screens and catching. So all trainers don't train kids based upon the way that they're going to be playing for a certain coach. We should remember that. And when it comes down to crooked coaches or bad coaches, listen, I talked to a friend of mine this morning, and we were talking about what is the biggest thing about the basketball. And what I said was, people look at everything as far as shooting, going on, but they don't take into consideration what a good coach is. They don't take into consideration what a good coach is and what he's doing to try to help to put their kids in a good situation and teaching them for long term. By the way, let me tell you this, Sloan, and I didn't say this the other day, but I seen it and I'm going to be quiet about it. The last person that took any team to the Final Four of the Peach Jam,
mm-hmm.
You know who was the coach?
Who?
Marlon Lowe. Everybody wants to skip over Lowe like that, and I'm okay with that. But since we're talking right now, we're inside the booth, I'll share that with people. Anybody can ask Tommy Mason Griffin, Tiny Gallon, if they went to the Final Four. We lost.
What year was that, Lo?
We wound up losing to Boo Williams, huh?
What year was that?
Tommy Mason Griffin's junior year. I can't remember what year he graduated. I think he graduated in 8, maybe. I don't remember. But anyway, we went to the Final Four. So, I know I was a pretty solid coach with them too at some point in time, but I was just putting that out there. But
oh, and you know what? I'm on the chat now, Lo. Oh, I'm locked in now.
You locked in? You see some of the chat? We midway, we 3/4 of the way down because
Anthony Fobbs says a college coach told me in ATL the reason Houston is losing credibility is because we don't know what's real and what's fake anymore, who's good or who's not. He went on to say, talk to one scout, the kid is good. Talk to the next, they promoting the other guy. Talk to another, they shoving someone else down your throat. No one is backing each other.
Hey, now Fob got some points because, parents need to understand.
But here's the thing, though, like everybody's opinion is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Lo, you may think a kid is good. I may think he's average. So now it comes down like, okay, when the coach looks at him, he can make his opinion too, right?
Right.
Like I don't think we always have to be on page about every single kid all the time. I don't. Like, Lo, you may think the kid can play. You may think he's a high major. I may think the kid is mid-major minus, right? That's your evaluation of him. That's your opinion. It's mine. Now the coach has got to do some work and come out and check the kid out himself and say, you know what? Maybe Lowe is right. Maybe he is high major. Maybe Sloan may be missing on this kid.
Well, what about the evaluators who just tend to push the guys that they follow first? For example, put it out there. You say that the coaches pay you to evaluate, and you went out there to watch the Houston Hoops and Peach Jam to evaluate and also for your own personal growth as far as basketball is concerned. So what would you say about parents that would say, okay, well, if he's out there or whether somebody paid for his ticket to get out here or they evaluate these kids, then obviously he's going to push those kids first. Is that fair to somebody assume, or how would you respond to something like that?
Well, no program has ever paid for my flight or anything. So I pay for that from the money that I get from my subscriptions. But again, college coaches say, hey, like, who do you like on the hoops or who you think can play at our level that plays for the hoops, that plays for JL3, that plays for Texas Pro, that plays for pro skills. So it's not like they're saying, hey, go watch Tremont Mark and make sure you pump him. Nobody's doing that. What they're asking me to do is go evaluate, go watch kids and tell us who can play at our level, who can help us win at our level.
No, and Stacy gave you some props too. Stacy gave some more props. He said, Sloan, he said, those are facts. That does not make you a fan, but based on the way that you judged earlier, he says, you giving an experienced evaluation of a player, you're also making sure that you're getting your point across to national evaluators that are also decision makers. Now he also, he also said, asked a question, why are you always picking fights with Paul Miranda? Hey, leave him alone. That's his guy now.
Well, and one thing about Houston, it's no matter what, it's always going to be like, somebody says, it's always going to be a Houston-Dallas rivalry, no matter what. As long as I'm breathing, it will always be that way. It's always going to be Houston versus Dallas. Now, when we go to a national event, it's Dallas and team, like I said, a team from Indiana. Okay, I'm going to go with the Texas group. But it's always Houston versus Dallas. Now, it's all in fun, but again, even when, and I always have to say this, I went to TCU, and I tell schools all the time, even other schools in the Big 12, I say this, I'm a professional. So if it's a kid that I think will fit better at Texas and TCU, who's a really good player, I'm going to tell TCU and Texas, he's probably better fit at UT than with you guys. And that's because, like, that's a credibility thing. Like, again, it's the business. It's nothing personal. You cut me, I bleed purple, right? That's personal. That's what I need. But when it comes to business and people cutting checks and people looking to pay invoices, I'm gonna tell them the truth. Nah, that kid he's probably gonna be a better fit at Texas because of what they run, or because of the numbers, or because of whatever,
Now, a question on that. You say when you're talking to the coaches and you're gonna tell the truth. Some people have something on the front of on the front of their websites. Yep. And some people have things on the back of their website. So on the front, they might have something that says this about a player, but on the back, where only the college coaches have access to it, there's another conversation.
Absolutely.
Tell us about that, or some of the parents that are watching, tell us about how that works.
So, like, for instance, and what I do, I always, like, my evaluation of players will never be public knowledge.
Like, will never be what?
Public knowledge.
Okay.
For instance,
and why is that?
Well, because of information, because they pay me for the information. Like, for instance, I did a Peace Jam report, right, for my service that I sent out to the schools that subscribe. It tells the good, the bad, and the ugly of each kid, how they performed, per game, the whole nine, right? But that's not for public consumption. Now, if I go, let's say I do a Lucas event, or I do a Rucker on Wood, I may have my all Rucker on Wood team. I may have my, I may do some light evaluation so where that's public. Oh, he played well, or he got to the rim pretty well, knocked down some shots. But my detailed report is for the college coaches only, period.
Drake sent me a text message saying Tommy graduated in 08. So we was in the Final Four in 08 or 09.
Okay.
Yeah.
And shout out to you, Lo. Also, man, shout out to Tim Schumacher nobody, including myself, and I'm a Houstonian until I die, predicted that team to make it to the Peace Jam Final Four with the group they had. And that's no knock on those kids. It's just the reality of the situation, of where those kids will end up as compared to those other teams. Like, if you would have told me after the first EYBL session that the Hoops would make it further to Peace Jam than the Titans, I probably would have bet you about 10 grand, right? The Titans have probably 4 or 5 high major guys on the team, whereas the Hoops may have 2 or 3 maybe, So,
right.
Shout out to Schumacher for, doing pretty good. And without Pryor for all those sessions getting to that Final Four.
Right. Okay. Now, back to the chat.
Yeah, I see the chat kind of jumping right now, and now that Fob is here.
Oh man, Fob don't do nothing. Man, Fob, one of the biggest instigators.
Oh,
and everybody
man.
know. Fob is a heck of an instigator. Good guy, but he know how to get it cracking, boy.
I tweeted this. I said, it's silly for adults to say that other adults, especially like in the media or scout service, is hating on your kid. nobody hates on your kid except Bob, but he hates on everybody, so he don't even count.
Hey, you remember when you was younger and you about to be into a fight, you and this other dude, y'all squaring each other down. Bob is the guy that come and put the leaf on your shoulder and be like, if you bad, knock that leaf off his shoulder.
Correct.
Knock that leaf off his shoulder.
See, that's why I'm gonna hire Bob for OTR exposure.
I bet you won't put your hand on him first. That's Bob. Right. So if y'all know Bob, that's kind of how he is. Good guy, but he
and listen, I'll say this, Lo. Bob did a great job for OTR exposure this weekend, and Under Armour Rise, he was tweeting live by live. He was really into it. I told him I'd get him some Peach Jam shoes. He didn't do quite a good enough job to get actual money, but it was like his first little internship. So I'm gonna get him like some Peach Jam KDs or something for his work.
No doubt, no doubt. Hey, shout out to Kenneth Lofton. He's in the chat, man. Junior did a great job, I heard, out of Peach Jam, man. He's been a guy. Junior was a kid that a lot of people they questioned and wondered, could he play at this level? Could he play at the level? Could he just play? Would he show up in big games or what he do? But Junior did something good, man.
No, Junior was unbelievable. I call him a light-skinned Zebo. Again, Junior, I love him to death. When you look at Junior, you don't think he's a kid who can go out there and score on a block against anybody. But what he did, not just at the Peach Jam, but the whole EYBL, man, like on that block, I tweeted this too. Either every time he got the ball, either he scored, he got fouled, or when they doubled him, he got an assist. That's it. Like, he was unbelievable on the block, scoring against the big fella from Old Can Elite, the big 7-foot African kid. He got Peach Jam MVP. He's probably going to be a top 10 draft pick in the next year or two. Kenneth was scoring on him like 3 or 4 times on the block. And again, they got 7 feet tall. Ken Lawson probably 6'5.5". Scoring on him too. Scoring on everybody in EYBL. He did a tremendous job.
No doubt, no doubt. Shout out to Kenneth. I like Junior, man. Junior today, man. He came, Kenneth Lofton Jr. You know what I'm saying? Now, the chat's still going a little bit too, so I'm going to ask you this. I don't know, Dawn and Stacy talking back and forth to each other. I like that. That's a good vibe, y'all. Y'all keep educating each other. Stacy been doing this a long time, Dawn, over 20-something, almost over 20 years, basically. And he's got some great experience. So when he gets in and he starts talking about things, make sure you follow him on Twitter too. I think it's DJH5 Report.
I follow Stacy on Instagram too, man. He had a great time in Vegas, man. I saw the pics.
I told Stacy, man, I felt like I was there. I felt like
he was living it up. He and the wife looked really nice, man. They really enjoyed themselves.
Yeah. Like, and they say, if you think you guys need to do a better job, let's see. This is Fob. Fob has a point too. I think you guys need to do a better job of explaining your role and job title. I'm a high school coach. I will never bash any kid to any college. My mission is different. And he said, Kobe. But he said, continue. He says, the evaluators can't do their mission. The evaluators can't do that. Their mission is different. They get paid, so they have to tell the good, the bad, and the ugly, and that's fine. I believe parents don't know the difference in good, bad, and ugly, I believe he said. But and Stacy said, I totally agree with you, Fob. Can you explain what your definition of bashing is too? But he said, obviously what Fob is saying, that you have to be able to, first you got to be able to define your role. Your job of explaining your role and your title as evaluators, I'm assuming he's saying. And because he's saying he's a high school coach and it's not on him to bash any kids. So if you're not bashing any kids, Sloan, or nobody else is bashing any kids, why is it that people would think that you are bashing? Is it the fact that say, okay, well, not just you in particular, when I say you, I just mean people, but when people say, okay, well, could they get that from a college coach? Well, Sloan didn't tell me that he didn't like the kid. Or because is your conversation to different coaches a different, you talk differently, or is everything the same and it's just on them to interpret your communication?
No, I mean, when you talk to a college coach, like Fob said, like I'll tell the coach like he's not your level. Or I've even told the coach like he's not what you think he is. Because now, especially now, what happens is a coach can be what we say tricked. Like a guy can have a great weekend, right? And a coach can be like, man, I'm all over him. And I'll tell him he just had a good weekend, coach. Trust me, because I've seen them last spring, summer. I've seen them during the school year. I've seen them all the way up until this weekend. You saw him. You saw him for 2 games. He might have got hot for 2 games, Lo.
Mm-hmm.
And a coach might feel like, oh, he's our level. So sometimes I'll be like, hey, coach, I know what you saw. He was great this weekend. That might, but that's not who he has been.
Right. Let me make a comment going back into the chat, right? Dawn, you said if that's the case, then you're talking to Stacy. You said if that's the case, then there should not be parent bashing for what they don't know. Parents are learning by experience. You're very correct on that, but that you're learning by experience. But at the same time, Dawn, look at it again as far as a business. You going to put your money into a bank. A lot of parents don't do their research on the people who they're putting their child around. They're not doing their research on that. So therefore, what happens is a person like myself who got a lot of experience, I might just look and be like, boy, here come another one. Here come another one through the door. They're not paying attention. And all of a sudden, they getting hyped about this. They getting hyped about that. They pushing this and pushing that. And we like, look, I don't talk about it out loud, but I say, geez, what's going to happen with this? What's going to come out of this? Parents don't do they don't do research. People are out there all the time. And you got to remember this. Sometime, and I don't care how long you've been with any program. My thing is this. I tell parents all the time, you can't be more committed to me than you are to your child. You can't be more committed to a program than you are your child. Your child is your most valuable gift and your asset. If you're more committed to a man, another man, or a program over your child, best future, something wrong with you. But at the same time, it's like this. Sometimes the wrong people are so close to you that they keep the right people from getting near you. Sometimes the wrong people are so close to you that they keep the right people from getting near you. Sometimes those wrong people are people that have not done anything at all but run their mouth, bump their gums. You know what I'm saying, Dawn? It's like they ain't got no track record of helping these many people get to college, helping this many people make sure they get through high school, guide them through the process from college to the NBA, making sure that they in the NBA, they doing certain things, they still got those relationships with those kids. But they sound good and say, oh, I know how to train this, I know how to train that. Coach Lucas says it the best. He says, when you go on people's Instagram and you see them taking a picture with LeBron, they standing right next to LeBron like they trained them. If you go to somebody else's Instagram, guess what? They got the same picture with LeBron on there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just because they got pictures of people they saying doing this and they do, that doesn't mean that they're credible enough for you to continue to be around them. You know, that's all I say on that part as far as that's concerned. But that sometimes the wrong people are so close to you that they keep the right people from getting near you. Always be open to sometimes, not always, but a lot of times, especially at the beginning, you should be open to communication with various people. That's just what it is. You know, I want to start my shameless plug in. I tell everybody I think I'm the best one doing it. I really do, but somebody else might disagree.
And like again, man, like a lot of times I think it's the approach that parents may have. I think if you approach someone the right way, you can probably get all the answers you need, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I'll put out a ranking. You don't feel like it's a certain. People hit me all the time about I have thick skin, though, right? I put out a ranking. People hit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't think my son is this level. I think my son should be higher. I always say, you're probably right. That's how you feel. That's your son. You know, like, you know. But if you automatically get defensive and say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're doing, take my kid out the ranking, like, come on, man, like that's not, you're getting emotional. And people get emotional behind their kids, but the difference between myself and parents are, I'm not emotional behind your kids. Those are your kids. So when I watch your kids, I'm watching them like what they can do, what they can't do, and like, that's it.
Right.
I'm not emotional behind your kid. So it's not personal.
No, I get that. I definitely get that. Godfrey Balsahar made a good point about Junior. He says, look, I said Junior was underrated since the Sci-Fair Invitational that everyone was talking about the wrong guy from PA Memorial. I don't know what guy they was talking about. I'm not in on that, but I know that you say that you like Junior. I'm good with that. You know, I just remember all of a sudden on that last play of the game for Junior, he tripped over his feet and slipped down, and we just all laughed and said, that's the ball game at the Cypher Invitational. I'm just hollering at you, Junior. I just messed with you, Lofton. But Fob comes back in again. He says, I don't feel it's my business to tell a college coach what any kid can't do. To me, that's their job to figure that out. But you guys get paid, so you got to tell the truth, right? And then Stacy comes back and says something else. He says, Fob, that's a great point. That's my motto. It's not my job to tell a coach what a player cannot do. They need to get their butts to the gym to make the decision if a player can play for their boss. How about that one?
It's hard for coaches now because of the evaluation period. So they do trust certain guys, and I mean they are paying certain guys to help them with evaluation. But it's like I just said, and Stacy and Bob, just mentioned this. You may feel a certain way, I may feel a different way. So now, like I said earlier, it's their job to go see themselves so they can make their own determination and say, okay, I remember what Bob said. I remember what Lowe said about this kid. I remember what Sloan said about this kid. I remember what Bob said about this kid. Now let me go watch him myself. So after you watch him, you can say, okay, well, he's with all three of them say, or maybe no, I'm gonna just go with Sloan on this one. But if you're not even going to go out yourself and watch him, you're just relying on all the different people, and yeah, of course you'll be confused and you'll say, truth and don't know what's real and what's fake because you haven't seen it yourself. It's like, yes, the coaches do have to do their own work. Yes, I agree with that.
No, I got you. Broke up a little bit there. I was trying to messing around with this internet a little bit. I was messing around with it. I hope I didn't mess it up too much, but I got you. And they're communicating. Appreciate that, Alex Pugh. Alex Pugh is in the building, y'all. He says that the booth is lit. We're getting it cracking up in here, man. We're gonna try to come, several days a week if we can. But always, it's always about just trying to get the information out there to everybody the best way we can.
Bob made a good point. He says, Sloan, that is fine. Parents think because y'all are cool, that is foul. My advice, you're gonna have to remove your personal relationship with them. And see, for me, again, I don't take it personal, though. Like, what I write about your kid or what I write about your kid, again, it's not personal. I have nothing against you or your kid. It's just my professional opinion. That's it. Now, whether you take that personal, that's on you. And again, people are emotional behind their kids. They get personal behind their kids. But I think that they should need to understand that as evaluators and guys in the media who may rank or evaluate kids, it's not personal. It's not. Like, I really don't have a dog in the fight, really. It, like, if I rank Eddie Lampkin 1 or 10, I don't have any feeling behind that. It's not like I got to rank Eddie number 1 because that's my guy and I love him. No, like, if Eddie play like he's the number 1 guy, I'm going to rank him number 1. If he play like he's number 6 guy, I'm going to say he's number 6. I have no personal interest or I'm not personally invested into an individual kid.
No, I got you. I got you. No, it's good. It's good. Listen, like as we get ready to come to, matter of fact, guys, once again, if you're inside the booth, make sure you click that thumbs up button right there on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Please subscribe to the channel so you can, and right next to that subscribe is probably a little bell or a little clicker where you can get notifications to let you know when we're going to be going live and when we're inside the booth. It'll pop up right on your phone, your cell phone, or wherever you're at, so you can be able to tune in, get plugged in, and see who was up in here. And by all means, please, at some point in time, whether it's tonight or in the morning, go back, share this with some friends and family, put it onto your page, let them hear what's going on. Hopefully, we're dropping some good information for you and your friends and everyone else to be able to come in and listen. Going forward, obviously, we're gonna have a lot of guests up in here. As always, it's fun, man. It's just it's informative. I got a guy that's a really good friend of mine. He's good with D.L. Hughley, right? And he's a health guy. He talks about food all the time. We're gonna bring him in one time. We're gonna talk about all kind of health. He knows he's cured people of a lot of things, and he knows, so we're gonna bring him in. But right now we're talking basketball. But what I'm saying is, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button so you'll know when we're inside the booth. Stacy Houston and Alex Pugh are gonna come in here one day and they're gonna go mano a mano, head to head, talking basketball and a lot of different topics. But I'm good with that. So listen, we want to thank right now we got Marcus Sloan up inside the booth. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. It's at Big Sloan 32. At Big Sloan, BIGSLOAN 32 on Twitter. You heard him saying it before. If he with the smoke, so if you bring it, he gonna give it back to you.
I am with the smoke always.
He gonna give it back to you. So that's what this forum is always about. And the good thing about it, we can go at different times during the day. Sometimes we might have to go twice during the day, whatever. If it's certain topics that's just hot and people can get in at certain times, you can always go back and watch it again. But right now, listen, I'm gonna go into the chat. I'm gonna see what else we got popping off in here and see what's going on. Dawn is getting some very good feedback, Sloan, from a lot of people because she putting some things out there and she asking questions. She has no question about it. She said she even thanking Fob. Oh my goodness! Oh my Jesus! She's thanking Fob. Coaches rely too much on evaluators, rankings, and tweets. So if coaches rely too much on evaluators, rankings, and tweets, what else can they rely on, Fob, if it's not evaluators, rankings, and tweets? If they're relying on that too much, what other way is there to assess some talent?
Probably need to go watch the games themselves, you know. Again, with the way the landscape has changed, I think coaches are relying on media guys or guys with scouting service to help them do their jobs because the rules have changed. Not like the old days where they have several evaluation periods. So now with less time to evaluate kids, I mean, they need help, period, you know?
Okay. Well, good. Well, I tell you what, man, we're going to get ready to take it in. We've been on here for a good little minute, about 75 minutes. But Stacy did give you a shout out. He said, Sloan, keep up the great work, my brother. Respect, #respect, my man. Jeff Mitchell just came on and put a little fuel in here before we get ready to take it home, man. And Jeff says, can someone tell me why that many Houston kids aren't getting scholarships? Sloan, why aren't that many Houston kids getting scholarships right now? Fob, if you in here, Pew.
Is he talking about the for 2020 or 2019 or was it like what class?
I would think he's talking about 2020 right now. Why aren't a lot of these kids getting scholarship offers?
Again, man, like I think the evaluation period is shortened, makes it tougher. And like I said earlier about that transfer portal thing, like that's a real issue. You take an older kid who may be more ready to go than a 17, 18-year-old kid. Like for some schools, they want to win, like and they have to win now. So they may, I mean, they'll take a JUCO kid or they'll take a grad transfer kid in that portal. I think the 2020 class in Houston will be fine. I think it'll still be 25 kids get Division I scholarships. I think it'll be more they get, total with D2 and NAIA, probably up to 30, 35 kids I think will play college basketball. Like, that's a lot of kids. Like, I mean, 30, 40 kids get a chance to get a free, education playing college basketball is a lot. I'm not sure what he means by why aren't they getting scholarship offers, I guess. I mean, for example, Big Eddie got 2 offers a day. DA Houston got a Sam Houston offer earlier. D'Avian Houston from Episcopal got Sam Houston. The kid Ethan Yancey got Bethel earlier today. I mean, I think it's kids getting scholarships. A couple of our kids are already committed, Tremont and LJ. I think by the time it's all said and done, it'll be business as usual in the city. I'll say 20 to 25. I would say at least 20 kids get Division I scholarships. Plus, the guys that go D2 NAI, it'll be around 30, 35 kids. That's my opinion.
Okay. All right. I'm going to get my cord and start plugging my cord back into the computer to make sure that our transmission don't break down again too. But we good. Look, what I want to talk about a little bit another time going forward, Sloan, we're going to wind it down tonight. But just like you just talked about, DA got a couple offers. They played on the with Coos Elite on the Under Armour circuit.
Gotta shout them out too. They got the championship game, lost by 1 to a team from Toronto on the Under Armour Rise in the Under Armour Rise championship game. So we gotta give Coos Elite a shout out. I know I give their moms a hard time, but those kids are they are not a reflection of their moms. Those are humble kids. They play really hard. They play together, and they had a good run these last 2-3 years.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. Shout out to Coos. Shout out to Coos moms. They all get it going. They come in. They with the smoke too, y'all. Just want to let y'all know that. And they some parents. Dawn, they some parents that they come on Sloan Twitter and go back and forth with him too. Sometime now it's Sloan with the smoke. They gonna put the smoke out there too. So that's just kind of how they are. But
yes.
And what I want to come back on, and maybe might be able to have whether it's Jim Hicks or just some other people on there, I want to bring them into the booth. And because what you made a great point when you said that DA got an offer, and Hicks has had his GMI historically for the last so many years, right? And a lot of teams didn't participate in that this year, but yet at the same time they chose to go out of town, out of state, out of the realm where most people know that kids are going to be at. And chose to play in other events outside the state and around the country, just to be close to a shoot team tournament. And I think 95+% of those kids did not come back with an offer from a college, even though they left this area. When majority of those coaches, I know personally that I can say 14, and I showed this yesterday when I was in at the GMI. I showed 14 college coaches that we were not going to be playing. I would JL3 and everybody else, we were not going to be there because our kids decided to go somewhere else and do something different. 14 college coaches that I showed right there that I told we want, and they had to adjust their schedules. And then all these kids that left to go other places.
So where were y'all going to play, Lo? GMI?
Yes, we were going to play in the GMI.
And the kids chose other places.
They chose because they wanted to travel. They wanted to travel. They wanted to do this and do that.
So how much time we got left? We got like 3 minutes. I just need 2.
The show is yours. The floor is yours.
So that's really interesting they chose it for that. Again, it's just, I don't want to say I'm bashing parents, man. So with Coos Elite is a little different as an independent team because they have guys like Jahari Long and Reuben Jones that are getting recruited kind of regionally, right? Jahari has some, he's getting recruited nationally. Seton Hall, Minnesota, TCU, others. So for them to play in the Under Armour Rise, to me, makes more sense because they have 3 kids who can play at certain levels. I'll say that, right? Most of the other teams, like you said, 95% of these other teams, I always say this, in my opinion, there's no reason to leave the state. With the GMI, okay, let's say you're trying to play in the GMI against other Houston teams. That's a fair thing to say. There's a lot of events low between March and July. Maybe you're tired of playing against the Houston Raptors. Maybe you're tired of playing against Team Texas Takeover Navy. Cool. Maybe go to the Gasso. Although I would rather support Jim Hicks because he's has a little melanin and he's one of us, as opposed to the Gasso. No disrespect to Blue and those guys. I would support Jim Hicks. That's just me. As opposed to going to Atlanta or Augusta, and you don't have kids who are attracting that level of those levels of coaches. You know what I'm saying? Well, comes there in Augusta, and they were in Atlanta. They were yes, it was some low major plus, low majors, mid majors, but it's high majors, mid majors. If you're on if your independent team consisted of kids that aren't getting recruited at all, have no interest at all, you leave Houston to go play in the Peach State Invitational because what? You feel like he may get something from another college out of Texas? That's a hard thing when at the GMI, yes, it's in Houston. Yes, it may not be as sexy to play MI3. You played MI3 3 times already this year. Cool. But the objective is to play in front of college scouts that your kids can go to. right? It makes no sense. I'll keep saying this, in my opinion. If you have kids who aren't getting recruited to go play at the Peach and Invitational against another group of kids, an independent group, who aren't getting recruited by those same schools, just because you play in the event with the Texas Titans doesn't mean those coaches are coming to watch your team play. They're coming to watch the Titans. They're coming to watch Mean Streets. They're coming to watch Expressions. They're coming to watch Boo Williams.
Mm-hmm.
So you staying in Houston to play at the GMI, where it probably makes a little more sense because Bethel's going to be there. LSU Alexandria's going to be there. Tarleton State may be there, which is a level that those kids on your team are on.
Mm-hmm. And that's a great point. Sloan, listen, if you saw the John Morant story, the coach went to the concession stand to see him. He was playing in the back gym. Damian Lillard went to what school Dame went? Weber State. Guess what? Those coaches that recruited those guys were not at the Peace Jam. Most of the coaches that are at the Peace Jam are the highest level coaches, respectfully, their budgets can afford for them to go out there. The budgets for the guys that are around here, and Jeff Mitchell made a great point. He said they don't understand that they're going to recruit them. The schools that are going to recruit them are the schools that's closer to where they live. These schools in Texas, we got like 21, 22 Division I schools in Texas. All of them can't go out there. They don't have the budgets to go that far. So they got to be in the area. And so you all want to just travel. I'm sorry?
Let me, as a coach or a director of a group that tells you that the kids want to travel and play other places. Mm-hmm. And the kids that you coached, this is just the facts. I'm speaking the facts. Mm-hmm. You got the kid Noah from Austin, he get recruited outside of Texas. Talking about currently right now. Other than that, Javier Francis has a couple offers, I think, from U of H and local in-state schools. Mm-hmm. But they chose to travel to play other places. Mm-hmm. When you, as a coach and director, are getting hit by 14 different schools, are you giving the parents this information and telling them, hey, guys, 14 schools hit me about us playing the GMI. I think it's best that we stay together?
Listen, I told them that I know the coaches because historically Hicks and the GMI have always attracted a lot of college coaches. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when I showed the 14, that was just to respond to 14 coaches. It was actually more that I hit because they just always go there. They know that even if we played in the Peace Jam, we came back.
Coming back.
And even if we played Adidas Gauntlet, we came back to support Hicks all the time. So they were always going to be there. And Pugh even said that he saw Baylor there at the GMI and Coach Sampson, U of H, them at the GMI. So they came and supported. But the thing about it is when the parents said, they were wanted to travel and go somewhere else because they thought they would get better looks, it's not on me to sit back and say, but don't do that. Don't do that. This is what it is. I say, no, I got this on the schedule for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty seasoned at this. You know what I mean?
Again, that's a part of my tweets. So with you being in this business a long time and being seasoned, and when parents tell you that they still want to travel, whose fault does it become then? That's their thing, right, Lo? Because
that goes back to the parent, like you said, and it winds up falling on the kids and say it's not their fault, but it is their problem. It's the parents that for whatever reason they feel like they got things figured out or they need to be in the know. And my thing is this: the guys that I coached with Coach Lucas on his JL3, they were freshmen and sophomores.
Correct.
If I had to use I'm not going to use a profanity, but I'm going to say that just F. There's no effing way anybody should be worried about leaving the state and traveling anywhere. You're a sophomore. You know what I mean? You stay here, even if, and just play. They have no idea that teams from Louisiana came to the GMI. It's teams that want to come to Texas and play, but we got people that's in Texas and Houston that want to leave and go somewhere else. Makes no sense to me.
My thing is this: if they were getting recruited, like let's say those freshmen and sophomores, because there's some freshmen and sophomores around the country who get recruited by, they got some offers from Power 5 schools from different states than where they're from. If that was the case, or those kids on your team, I would almost agree with them. But me being in this business, me knowing your team really well, having seen those kids 10 plus times, I know their recruitment level and what schools are recruiting them.
Right.
On that team currently, this is a transparent conversation. It's 2 kids on that team being really recruited to play college basketball right now. 2, Lo.
Right. Say it again.
It's 2 teams that's on that current team currently on that JL3 team that are being recruited to play college basketball. Currently, 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the schools that are recruiting those 2 kids are all local schools.
Well, listen, you're right.
Probably at the GMI.
Well, they would have been at the GMI. They got more too. They got quite a few, but they got like 4 that people are trying to scratch the surface on watching. But the thing about it is,
but when I say recruiter, I mean they really recruited. Not like, again, people have interest in certain kids, but you can say, hey, well, this kid has college offers. These people are interested in this kid currently, not for what he could be a year from now today.
Right.
There's, in my opinion, no way that they should have split off and played in that different events when together it's enough firepower to maybe attract another school.
If a lot of these, yes,
being in this and them not listening to you is a part of the problem. Like when people blame others, because 2 years from now they're gonna say, "Oh man, Lo, Lo didn't even." What do you mean?
Travel.
Like, what do you mean Lo didn't? Lo told y'all play in the GMI because there's gonna be some schools there. Lo didn't tell y'all to travel. Lo didn't tell y'all to split up and do. You've been playing with one team, well, a couple of kids from a different team, but you've primarily been playing with one group. So the last summer ball week of the year, you choose to split up and play with the new group.
I can give you something that just really, this is why I was really I was disappointed a whole lot, right? Let me tell you something. I wanted them to play in the GMI because I knew it would bring a lot of firepower. It's going to bring a lot of coaches to help them particularly, right?
Yeah.
My son and his 8th grade team played in Gassroots at the same time, right? So, but the thing about it is this, my son, they would have played in the GMI, but they had a teammate, because they only had 6 kids. They had a teammate that was trying out for the Junior Olympics that was a sprinter, and it was in Fort Worth at the same time. So they went up there to the GMI so that when he got finished, he can come help them play, okay? And they were right there. They played in Fort Worth, and our games were basically in Mansfield, 30 minutes away, right?
Yep.
Now, if I thought the Gasso at that point in time needed to be done for them, I would have done that because my son playing there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a chance to see my son, but to make sure that they were in the best place, I was going to miss seeing my own son play. You know what I mean? To make sure that they was in the best place for their opportunity to be recruited. That's just the best I can say for that. It's like, it was mind-boggling to me. But hey, man, it's not much that I can say about it. Not just like I said, it was a little disappointing because I'm like, look, Hicks has been doing this for a long time. Whether you agree with Hicks on everything he does or not, Hicks and I don't agree with a lot of things, but a lot of things we agree on. And one thing I always do is try to support him. But the thing about it is the history of his event has always attracted top coaches. And those coaches would rather stay in the state of Texas than to leave and go all over anyway. And not only that, you got 21, 22 Division I schools in the state of Texas, right? This is where you would want your son to play within this region. Right. This region will bring even no schools and everybody else, but you choosing to go somewhere else just so that you can say that you traveled.
And
shame on you.
It is for me because like they split up. So it's like now you got to tell schools, oh yeah, he playing for this team, he playing for that team, he playing for this team. Like
exactly. Exactly. Well, look, man, let's get ready to take this home. Again, for all you viewers out there and listeners, appreciate y'all being in the chat room. Sloan, go into the chat right quick, see if there's anything that you need to address before we get up out of here. But it's been real lit tonight. It's been good. Thanks for staying plugged in. Again, hit that subscribe button, hit the notifications button, hit the share button, get it out there. We're going to start doing this, being in the booth several times a week, sometime during the morning, the early afternoon, in the evening, and whenever we got something that's going down that we can share with everybody. But this has been it's a great platform. Love to be able to go back and forth and interact with everyone. Make sure at some point in time, you make sure you follow Sloan on Twitter. Make sure if you don't follow us at Inside the Booth, follow us at Inside Booth on Twitter, and it goes down. Let me read a couple of these mentioned conversations right quick, see if there's anything we need to address before we get out there. I see Alex Pugh yelling facts to Stacy. Let's see what we got right here. Chad Ware finally came inside the booth after talking all this talk. He wanted to be in here. I was going to give him a chance to get on the platform. Let's see. Fob says, I'm all for supporting my guy Hicks. That's my man. You can't tell a person how to gamble. I'm a high stakes poker player. I'm going to gamble where I know or where I think I have the best chance. That's true, Fob. You can't tell a parent where to gamble, and a parent has the right to make a good or bad decision for their child.
As long as they're accountable. I don't mind whatever you do, just be accountable, man.
Yes.
If you want to gamble and send your kid to play on the moon, if you come back from that moon and he got the same looks or the same rocks he could have got off an MI3 grabble, just look in that mirror, hold yourself accountable. Don't blame the media. Don't blame the evaluators hating on your kid. Don't blame coaches. Look at yourself first. Say, I probably should have went to the moon. Or you might say, I could have went to the moon. Maybe my kid wasn't good enough to play on the moon.
Right. You're right. And that's it. It's just, parents have the right to make good and bad decisions.
Let me say this too, Lo. I know it's getting late. I want everybody, I wish I could zoom in. This is very important.
They can see. There you got a screen by yourself.
Listen to this. Sometimes parents, handlers, your kid can be a really good high school basketball player and still not get a scholarship. It happens all the time. You can be all district. It's some all state kids that do not get a college basketball scholarship. You can be a really good high school player and that be it. Just because you're a good high school player or even because you may average 20 points a game does not guarantee you're going to get a basketball scholarship. It doesn't. And again, that is okay. It's life. But I think the problem with and even I hate even saying this, the problem with people in our city is they think that because your kid he averages 20 points, or he can catch tip dunks or catch alley-oops that he deserves to get a scholarship. That is not the case. This is a global game. And that's why they have intramural leagues. The intramural leagues at these Power 5 schools, even at HBCUs, are filled with all district guys. Promise. Filled with them. So I don't want our culture to go around blaming, honestly, Black men who are trying to help your kid advance not only in the game but in life because they didn't get a scholarship or because they're not where you think they should be. Because sometimes, man, you could be a good player and not get that scholarship. That's just how it goes. And just be accountable, hold yourself accountable, hold your kid accountable. Good night. That's my soliloquy. That's a big word. That's the TCU degree. I hope y'all get there. Y'all can Google that word, man. It's just, man, it again, when you see kids from all over the country, it's a kid on real quick on Mocan Elite, number 5, I forget his name. He was an animal. I talked to Mocan coach. I was like, yo, what offers he has? He don't have any. I'm like, whoo, that's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, you're right. And hey, we're going to the gym in the morning. Make sure everybody know. Set the alarm clocks. No, we're gonna get up at 7. Sorry about that. Sorry about had to put my young fellas. They going to bed. But look, Shantae came on from Cools.
Here she goes.
And at the end of the day, it's my kid, my responsibility.
Big facts. She don't say many smart things, but
big facts.
That's one of the smartest things she said probably ever come out of her mouth for sure.
Listen, I gotta get off this chair. I've been sitting down too long. Sloan, I appreciate it. We're gonna get back up in here. It's gonna be a lot of other things we need to talk about. We need to talk about the NCAA, these camps that's coming up. Who was affected? Why aren't that many good, even qualified kids going?
And listen, real quick, Lo, listen. I got the credentials for that camp. So if you think the media is fake or the evaluator's fake, the guys who aren't fake, they'll be at that camp with those credentials. They'll evaluating those kids. So that's another time you'll see me in the gym. So if I'm still gonna be hating on you, quote unquote, hating on your kids in the gym at the NCAA camp because I got the credentials.
Show your shirt, Sloan. What are we gonna do at the end?
You gotta run your race, man. I'm gonna start selling these on my website. Run your race. I tweet it every morning. That's very, very important. Hopefully you start running your race when you see that tweet.
You know, Shantae has some choice words for you. You know, she has some choice words for you.
What'd she say? I know she said something. I'm sure.
She said, "Shut that ass up, Sloan." Okay. All right. She came in.
Hold on. Let me jump on this chat because I had to get it from my computer real quick.
She say, kids that average 20 points ain't playing defense. They at practice shooting all damn day. All black men ain't helping black kids. Support who supports you.
That, Shantae?
Yeah, she said that.
She want to come all late, 10:40, 10:45.
Yeah. But no, we are going to come back up in here. We're going to talk about the NCAA camp. We're going to talk about the, Jeff say scoot back a little bit, Sloan. You're too close.
I'm sorry.
We're going to talk about the NCAA camps. We're going to talk about a lot of things that's going on as we proceed, because parents need to know a lot of things about how to pick the right school, who to listen to, who not to listen to. It's so many various tangibles and intangibles that go into this game that you just got to take it piece by piece. Everything is a huge jigsaw puzzle that used to fit on the table of your grandparents' door. And guess what? Your grandparents' table. And the thing about it is, all them little bitty pieces in that big old huge jigsaw puzzle, everybody's puzzle is different. Everything ain't the same. So you got to put it together differently. Listen, for Marcus Sloan, I'm Marlon Lowe. Thanks for joining us inside the booth. We'll see you again soon. Make sure you hit subscribe, click that notifications button, share it tomorrow. Let's go online. I know Sloan gonna be put some things out there tomorrow on his timeline, on inside to make sure you follow inside the booth. We're gonna be discussing it. Whatever's going through tomorrow, we gonna be discussing what happened tonight. Gave everybody a chance. I put that link up in there. So if you had something to say, you had a chance to come in here and get live up inside this booth. But some of you chose not to. But for those that decided to stay in the chat, you know, it's always peace. We always good with each other. My fact like this. I use peace like this all the time now because people don't realize the first words of peace was Hotep. It had the fingers together. It meant like work together, stay together. They started separating us like that. So peace ain't like this, because when we do it like this, we ain't working together. Peace. All right. Y'all enjoy. Marlon Lowe. Holla. Thanks, Sloan.
No problem. Thank you.